The Ulugh Madrasa, leftover culture of Zoroastrianism, the follower of Tengri,
Some old Turkic sentence.
the largest mosque in Samarkand. This one is Korean's cemetery of Bukharan Jewish, Afrasia, the ancient settlement, the mausoleum of Amir Timur. Hi, good morning everyone. I'm in Samarkand, the capital of the Timurid dynasty. It's actually a very ancient city, 2000 years old, but especially after Timur controlled the area and made it his capital, it became very famous. A lot of majestic buildings, and we are going to see a few of them today. So follow me. Oh, by the way, I also have a friend here. He's Musa from Turkiye.
Hi everyone, I'm from Turkey. My name is Musa.
Yeah.
Glad to meet you.
Yeah, and we're gonna explore the city together. Follow us. We have reached the famous Registan. Registan means sandy area. It used to be the square, like the center of the city. And here you can see three major buildings, and all three are madrasas, built from the 14th to 17th century. This one is the Ulugh Madrasa, and this one is Tilakari Madrasa at the center. And on the right here we have Sherdor Madrasa. So now we need to find an entrance to get in. Here there are some information board like this one about Ulugh Madrasa, built by Ulugh in 1417 to 1422. So actually all these buildings are built in the 15th century, but the only one that's really preserved is this one, the Ulugh Madrasa. And the other two is actually they were constructed in the 17th century, early 17th century. Over there, it's actually the statue of the first president of Uzbekistan, Islam Karimov. No, Islam Karimov. So it's overlooking the Registan, which is here. And now we want to circle the Registan first. Take a look at these blue tiles. So I'm pretty sure this one are new, but at least it follows the old style. See? And here it's Chorsu. I don't know what it means though. And this is the Chorsu paintings. There are some tombs here, as you can see. You can see the Islamic calligraphy here. Probably the tombs of important people in the past. Let's go. You can see this madrasa, the minaret, it's actually leaning forward. Yeah. So I will introduce you a bit more about our friend here, Musa. He's actually a very Turkic guy. I really like him. He's a follower of Tengri. And we can learn about Tengriism, maybe Tengriism, I guess, from him. And for example, is this one. This is very interesting. Yes, this one was this feather.
When I left my country,
Yes.
I found this
Feather
feather on the border.
on the border.
And this one, it's Shah-i-Zinda.
Sabis. The palace of Timur, yeah? The Sama palace.
I
He found
love
this one.
Timur.
Yes.
He is a big man, big
Yes.
hero,
Big hero.
big Turkic hero. So this is it's my original culture. When you see
A feather.
weather anywhere, you must take
Pick it. Yes.
because the life give you this leather for a luck.
I see.
Yeah, you know, when you see any
Feather.
time, anywhere, any time you want weather, you must take because life gives
Something
give
to you, and you should take it. I see.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, brother. And what's this one on your hand? Can you share with us?
Yeah.
Like this one? Wow, amazing. Is this a
Eagle.
eagle's
wings,
wings? Yes.
Eagle's wings, and sword and some shields. and some old Turkic sentence.
All Turkic sentence.
It's all about Turkic culture.
Yeah, it's all
Real
about Turkic culture. Wow, very nice. Yes, I love Turkey even more now. Turkic culture, I mean. Okay, let's continue our journey with our wonderful Turkic friend. And this one you can see, it's similar with the one in Bukhara. You can see two tigers or leopards, but behind them is actually a sun with a face, with a Mongol face, and it's for symbolizes Mitra. So you can see some leftover culture of Zoroastrianism, even though these newer paintings, but I would say that's how Zoroastrian still survive in Central Asia, especially in Uzbekistan. Nice. You can see the minarets here, it's already renovated, but if you want to look at the old minarets, you can look like at this one. See, the top is already missing. You can compare, like for this one right here, it has like a cup, but here it's just like that. So what's great about Samarkand is the Registan, because of the big buildings, as you can see right here. But it's surrounded by a modern city, as you can see. That's why some people say that Bukhara and Khiva are better. But if you want to see big and gigantic buildings, mega projects, it must be this one. Ladies and gentlemen, I found a feather, so I'll keep it and pick it up. This will be like for luck. Let's go. We will continue our journey to the northeast. You can see the blue dome right there, hiding behind the tree. That's the Bibi-Khanym Mosque, and we are heading that way. And later to Ulugh Observatory. This is UNESCO World Heritage, and Samarkand. A lot of important places and buildings like this one, Timur Mausoleum. We will go there in the afternoon. So right now we are in the Registan area where we see 3 madrasas, and we walk here to the northeast, Bibi-Khanym Mosque, and here also some other monuments. Afosiop is a location for archaeology, and there are a lot of findings. Maybe we visit the museum, and there is also a tomb of Daniel here. Some people claim that this is the tomb of Daniel. And this one is Ulugh Observatory, and maybe we go to another mausoleum up there, not on the map. So that's our route. Let's go to Bibi-Khanym. This is Samarkand, a very old city, more than 2000 years old. In fact, it was already famous at the time of Alexander the Great. The name of the city was Markanda. And when Alexander the Great actually conquered the city, he said like, everything I've heard about the city is true, only that it is much more beautiful. And so there's also like a mythical king named Afrosiab, and we'll visit the place Afrosiab, which is a archaeological site. If possible, we will also go there. And also the place once thrived with followers of Zoroastrianism and Buddhist monk Swanzang. If you know, Journey to the West, he also visited the area, finding a lot of Zoroastrian society. As you can see in the one of the madrasa, there is like a Zoroastrian image. And later, it was captured in 1220 by Genghis Khan. And it recovered quickly much later under the Timurid dynasty by the great Timur, who conquered much of Central Asia and beyond, in fact. And he made Samarkand as the capital of his kingdom. We have now arrived at Bibi-Khanym. It's a very old mosque. It's 600 years old, so I think also built by Timur or his son or grandson. And it's this one. Let's take a look. You can see how ancient the building is. You can see the cracks there in the minarets, and I think the minarets should be much higher. That's broken. Take a look at this gate, very big. This is the inside. You can see some grass actually on the dome. This one behind me is Bibi-Khanym Mosque. It's named after Bibi-Khanym, the Chinese wife of Timur. So it was built in the 1400s, early 1400s, 600 years ago, and it is the jewel of Samarkand. Unfortunately, most of it are actually already destroyed, and the one that you can see here is actually rebuilt in the 1970s. So I don't think it's worth it to enter, and you need to pay 30,000 some. But some part of it might be ancient. For example, this one at the gate, you can still see some Arabic calligraphy, like this one. But over there, the Arabic calligraphy only like 2 tiles. The others are already changed by marbles. Okay, let's continue to the next building. I think that one, probably that's the mausoleum actually. The tomb of Bibi-Khanym. But it looks like a palace, and it used to be surrounded by big walls, I think. You can even see the tower there. It's probably not a minaret, but more like a turret. As the story goes, basically when Timur returned from his Indian campaign in 1399, he ordered the building of this mosque. But when he returned, he found the gate not big enough, and he asked for a bigger gate. That's why this gate looks really big. The mausoleum. That's the inside of the mausoleum. Basically, there is a big hole in the middle, and the tomb is located at the bottom. If you want to see clearly, you need to pay 25,000 sum, and you can go like 5 steps forward and look down, which again, I don't think it's worth it. So let's continue our journey. We are gonna go to the Afrasiab archaeological site, the old city of Samarkand. It's still towards the northeast. Let's say goodbye to the mausoleum of Bibi-Khanym. So I checked in the Wikipedia, there's actually no info about Bibi-Khanym, but from the name Khanym, I have told that it means like the lady or the madam, maybe the wife of the Khan, something like that. And you can see it's very protected. Here, the walls, and that's the mosque, a very big one, the largest mosque in Samarkand, built by Timur. And now we are going to the bazaar, the Siop Dekon Bazari. So it's the old bazaar of Samarkand. Now it's already quite modernized. Let's take a look at the snacks. These are sweets, nuts.
Çantaları falan oraya attım. Olmadı başka bir yere falan da geçebiliriz. Sen gel bakarız.
So that's the bazaar, the ancient bazaar of Samarkand. And here I also found another feather. Now already 2 feathers, one in Registan and one in the bazaar. Now let's go. Not far from here, there is actually a mosque with the mausoleum of the first president of Uzbekistan, Islam Karimov. Let's take a look a little bit. As you might have noticed from our travel around Uzbekistan so far, all the cars are Chevrolet, like this one, that one, this one. See, Chevrolet. It's because they have actually a factory here, manufacturing. So it's very cheap. I heard it's around $15,000 to $20,000. And also I think there's a monopoly of some sort. And as you can see, most of the cars, the colors are white because it protects or it reflects the sun. So it won't be too hot. Yeah, I think it's the Afrasiab. And the mausoleum is probably on that direction, behind the mosque. See, that's the bus station and also the tram depot. We came there yesterday from the train station. As usual, besides the bazaar, there's a lot of public transport, damas, share taxi, masbutka, and the mosque is that side. So I think we'll just take a shortcut. I think there's a way there. We are here at the top, and you can see Samarkand right behind me. Woo! The Bibi-Khanym. And from this way onwards is the ancient city of Samarkand, Afrasiab. And I think the mausoleum of Islam Karimov is right here. This one is the mosque built by the side of mausoleum of Islam Karimov, the first president of Uzbekistan. So we're gonna take a look. The style is quite modern. This is the mosque, Hazrati Hizir Mosque, and the mausoleum is right there. Oh, this one is the mausoleum. Apparently, this is the mausoleum of Islam Karimov. Here, take a look. And some people are praying, as you can see. This is the mausoleum complex of Islam Karimov, and that's the mausoleum. And this one is the mosque. And here there is a mihrab. And over there is the Bibi-Khanym Mosque. And that's the mausoleum. We will continue north towards Ulugh Observatory. Ulugh is like the third or fourth emir, I think, the grandson or the great grandson of Timur. And he's also a scientist, prominent scientist, astronomer, and they have a observatory. But on this side we will see the Afrasiab. That's the ancient settlement of Samarkand. Hopefully we can see a little bit and maybe visit the museum too. Let's go. This is the Muslim cemetery, as you can see. It's right here at the hills. And behind it is the Afrasiab settlement. So we might try to actually pass through here. And here is actually a combination of Soviet era and Muslim graveyards, as you can see. The pictures with Cyrillic alphabets, but also some Muslims style, for example, like that one. You can see, and even with the Arabic characters. And on the right, actually, there are also some mausoleums, smaller ones like that, with the blue dome. Yeah, maybe we will see from the top later. Our friend Musa points us to a very interesting fact. So like tombstones like this, especially the one that's shaped into a head like that, it's actually very Turkic in origin. You can search, Google search Balbal. You can find it, for example, in Kyrgyzstan. It's like 2000 years old or more. the tomb is like, the tombstone is shaped into like the head or statue. In the Muslim graveyard, there are also like ancient mausoleums, and a lot of them actually. Very interesting. This here is a lot of mausoleums, but I don't know them. But if you check Google Map, like there are a lot of names, probably very respected people in the past during the Timurid dynasty. From here, all the way there. This is the Muslim cemetery, the old ones and the newer ones. Like here is the newer ones, the old ones was just now like from the Timurid dynasty. Now we want to go further. There's actually a Bukharan Jewish cemetery even further north. Let's go. Amazing place. I think if you go to Samarkand, you need to come here. Good view. And I think the Bukharan Jewish cemetery is that one there with the walls. And the ancient settlement is right behind it. There's another hill over there. I wonder if this used to be an ancient fortress, with this being in the walls and now having turned back into soil. Who knows? Let's go. This is the cemetery of Bukharan Jews. So there used to be a lot of Jews living in Central Asia. I heard it's like in the tens of thousands, maybe 100,000. But after the Soviet Union, a lot of them actually moved to Israel and United States. What's left is just the graves. I heard even the Bukharan Jews, there are only like less than 200 left in Bukhara. So you can see how I know that it's Jews. You can see this one, for example, it's in Hebrew letters, and you can also see the Star of David. Yep, that one. Or maybe a closer one. This one also. Yes. And if you see the year, it's like the 1964. That one is 1964. Died in 1964. So many of them are still here in the 60s. But after the fall of Soviet Union, most of them moved out. In the Muslim cemetery, they give you tea. See the teapot? Now I'm entering the Afrasiab. It's an ancient town. Basically, it's the old Samarkand. The city has been here, according to archaeology, since 500 BC to 1220, when Genghis Khan came to destroy the city. So there are actually a lot of remains here. Most of the items probably already went to the museum, but we want to see at least the ancient settlement. It's right here. So this one is already part of the ancient settlement, but I think after it's been dug out, it's buried again, reburied. Let's look for that one that's still not yet buried. This here is Afrasiab, the ancient settlement. Wow. From 500 BC. No wonder it already looks like this. There used to be a plaque here. Maybe it's this one. Yes, it is. See, there's some explanation here. So, I just want to tell you, this Afrasiab, basically this is the old Samarkand. Samarkand used to be located here, like on higher ground, but it was destroyed in 1220 by Genghis Khan, and the new city was built right over there, quite far. But here, a lot of findings from ancient times. For example, there is a mural found here. See, it talks about like Afrasiab paintings, find spot. So there are about 30 buildings here, and in one of those buildings, actually they find a mural. This is the museum, Afrasiab Museum. So it keeps the findings of the archaeological sites. So I'm already inside the museum. You need to pay 30,000 som. Usually I don't want to get in, but for you I get in because there is a famous mural. And here, see even the motif. This one is from 11th to 12th century. And let's go. So Afrosiab is located on this hill. You can see. Remember this one? This is the mausoleum that we went through. This is the Muslim cemetery, and then the Jewish Bukhara cemetery, Bukharan Jewish, and the older mausoleums, and the new mausoleum of the first president. And here on this hill is the old city of Samarkand. And there are some explanations here. Basically, before it was constructed in the first millennium BC, especially around 8th to 7th century BC. It was the capital of Sogdiana. Here there are coins from Greco-Bactrian, 3rd century BC. Wow, Greek. This is because of Alexander the Macedon. And this one is quite interesting because the skull looks elongated. Let's watch some of the video in English. I just watched a video of Afrosiab mural, so I will explain. Basically, it's about the Sogdians in the 7th century who live here. And here we are coming from the east towards the western wall. There are some explanations here, but basically it's assumed that this is actually the ambassadors' hall, murals about the ambassadors, and probably see these sketches from artists, imagining how it looks like. Probably the King Farshuman here in the middle, but it's missing. So how do we know that these are ambassadors? We know that this is depicting ambassadors because of the writing or inscription here in Sogdians that explain about the ambassador. This one is from Chagatai and this one is from Chak. These are actually quite near to Samarkand, a bit to the east. And this one, you can see the Turk guards. You can see from the longer hairs and the spears there. And here we have some Chinese envoys, Tang Dynasty, bringing gifts like cocoons, you see that one, and silk. Also another Turk guards, here the long hair, remember, and some interpreters to these Tibetans. So this one's supposed to be Tibetans, but I think it's missing. You see, probably the real one is already taken to somewhere else. And this one is Koreans, as you can see, with the feathers. And this also Turkish spears and shield with a face. See. And to the south, here, no, I mean to the north, this one depicting China, Tang Dynasty. This one is probably the Tang Queen, the Queen of China, with mythical animals and birds. And over there is about the king. Here on the bigger horse, you can see the horse, the brown yellow colored, the king Fakuna, with all his troops bearing gifts. You see camels, horses, and elephant, presumably to the mausoleum of his parents. So this is really amazing. But the most important thing is about the Hall of Ambassadors, basically the ambassadors visiting King Farkuna. So it shows that Samarkand in the past was already very international. King Farkuman is accepting gifts from the ambassadors with Turkish guards guarding. So you can see dignitaries, Tang envoys, Chinese, Tibetans, Koreans, and Turkish guards. See? Tibetans, Koreans with the feather, interpreters probably Turkish guards with the hair, and this one, the Tang ambassadors from China. And the ambassadors. So that's the museum, very interesting. I really like it. Now we are going to Ulugh Observatory. It's about 1.4 kilometers from here. It's near, but if you walk it will take around 18 minutes. So now we are at Ulugh Observatory. This is the statue of Ulugh. He's the grandson of Timur himself, and he started reigning in 1447 to 1449. And interestingly, besides being a sultan or an emir, he's also a very famous mathematician, polymath, speaking a lot of languages like Arabic, Persian, and many others. And his work on the astronomy. That's why at the back you can see it's the sky, night sky with the sun, moon, and stars. And we're gonna visit the observatory and we check it out. Let's go. We are not going in because we need to pay another ticket, 30,000 som, which is quite expensive. And that's how it is in Uzbekistan, especially for foreign tourists. But basically you can see here the old sextant, which is actually at the back, but it's inside the building, so you can't really see it from here. Other than that, everything is new. For example, even this building is very new. You can see the foundation, it's marble, and yeah. So I think we'll just go back to the center of the city and we want to visit the mausoleum of Timur himself. It says, I heard it's really good. Let's go. So we hitchhike again. Very kind people, Uzbekistan. Hi, so we already arrived at Gur Amir. Basically, it's the mausoleum of the leader, and it's the mausoleum of Timur himself. So it was built in 1403. Actually, it was built for his grandson who died earlier, but finally it actually used to bury Timur himself and his son and even his grandson Ulugh. There are some additional construction in later dates, but it was first built in 1403. Actually, it was built as a khanaq and a madrasa, which later joined together, and additional tomb added later. So let's get in. The price to enter the mausoleum is 30,000 som. So let's get in. And this is the mausoleum. Wow. The tomb is usually put behind this kind of window, so let's just get in. This is how the mausoleum looks like. So actually before it was a madrasa and a khanaq. So this is actually the square. Actually the style starts here and now it spreads to all Uzbekistan, like in Samarkand, Bukharan, and Khiva. And then later they add the addition of the mausoleum. And that's where we will go. We're already inside. And this place now also functions as museum. For example, this one is about the campaign of Timur. You can see from Samarkand, the capital, there to Turkey, towards India, Delhi, and actually on his last campaign he wanted to invade China, but he died and buried here. Here you can see the expansion of the Timurid kingdom. And that's it until he died around 1405. This is the mausoleum of Amir Timur. And his tomb is the one at the center, the one dark green or perhaps black. And as I told you earlier, he actually built this mausoleum for his grandson, this one, Muhammad Sultan. But then he died 2 years later and he was buried here by his son and grandson, right beside his spiritual teacher, Said Bakara, this one. And that one over there is Ulugh, his grandson. And the mausoleum, the structure itself is still original, but the inside mostly are newly decorated. That's why if you look like this one in the middle, that's actually the original one. That's why it's not covered by the newer ones. You still can see some writings there, And also like this one, the writings is still new. Even the mosaics, this one is new one, but this one is the old one. You can see the original, so it actually imitates the original one. This is when the Soviets uncovered the grave, and according to the legend, that's where when disaster happens and World War II comes and Hitler invades the Soviet Union. So this is the mausoleum from outside, and you can see that I think the Kanak, and here used to be the madrasa. You can see this is the room, one of the rooms, and many more rooms over there. And there are actually some tombs here, but I don't know whose tombs are these. And this is the gate. The gate probably newly reconstructed. Amazing. And interestingly, behind the mausoleum, which is this one, there is another smaller mausoleum which we can go at the back through this gate in front, which has a very nice interior, so we'll see. This right behind the mausoleum, Timur's mausoleum over here, you can see some parts that are still not renovated, so you can see how it looks like in the past. And it's very interesting. See. Let's take a look at these old parts, the bricks, making an arc. Wow. From here you can study how arches were made in the Timurid era. Amazing. And there is a big gate here. Which used to be, I think, the entrance to the mausoleum, which is located underground and now has been moved to the top floor. Okay, let's go. So what do you think about the mausoleum? I think it's quite good, even though it's new, I mean the interior, but it's pretty good. And nearby we have this Amir Timur statue sitting. Musa helps us to get into a wedding and see how a wedding looks like. So it's thanks to Musa, he briefly come here and asked if we can get in and see the wedding here in Samarkand. So we are now back at Registan and we want to watch light shows here because as you can see, apparently there are some VIPs from Korea. They are giving us seats right in front of me and we're gonna watch a light show. So let's see.
This is my homeland, Uzbekistan, the free.
There was silence all around, and in the darkness, the sun and the moon were lit. Man willed a pen for a first time, and began to write down history. If you want to see an example of beauty, it's right here. Registan is your example.
The schedule of the stars, Ziji Kuragon, the supreme secret of human intellect.
On that now bygone road, the star of Samarkand is shining large.
So that's the show. It lasts for around 15 minutes. It's really nice and you can see that was the light show, very interesting. And now they still play some music with colorful lights, amazing. Especially now that we have the moon accompanying us here. Wow, very cool. Registan. So, see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Ikuti terus Bang Jago. Sampai jumpa.